Professor Black Ops, you see it, let's get it. Peloton leaking White House information. Review all software and internet connections. So anytime you bring any device into your company or against the White House, you need to review that software. Obviously, Peloton was giving away some information. We're going to read about it in the report. Peloton leaky API spilled riders' private data. On top of a privacy spill, Peloton is also recalling all the treadmills after equipment was linked to 70 injuries and the death of one child. Peloton has hit a pothole. Its API was leaking riders' private data. It ignored a vulnerability disclosure from a penetration testing company, and it partially fixed the hole, but didn't get around to telling the researchers until the researchers read out to a cybersecurity journalist for help. So even though they fixed it, you need to close the loop and let the public know that API was actually fixed. So we're actually going to get down to the privacy issue. Peloton has a tough week in terms of privacy news. Nobody wants to have this supposedly private profile, age, city, or workout history pop up in a screenshot while they're pumping their quads on one of the Peloton pricey bikes. But that's what happened to Zack Whittaker last week. How he came out to find out that the pen tester partner needed a trusted journalist, i.e. him, to get the Peloton's attention. Pen test partner researcher James Masters had discovered that the bug allowed anyone to scrape user private account data off a Peloton server, regardless of their profile being set to private. As Masters said in a post about the glitch, the leaky API allows any users, along with any other random internet passerby, to make an unauthenticated request for account data to the API, with the API making sure that they had any rights to that data. The API enables the bikes to upload data to the Peloton servers. So long story short, if you call the API, you can just pull up data of anybody on there. The entire list of exposed private details, user ID, instructor ID, group membership, location, workout status, gender and age, and if they are in a studio or not. It's not good for any of the company riders, of which it has many. Peloton has more than 3 million subscribers, with over 1 million of them connected, as in they pay to synchronize their workout classes with the Peloton equipment. But in particular, it's concerning given that one of those members reported was President Joe Biden. As the New York Times reported a year ago, then the president candidate started each day by hopping on one of the 2,000 indoor stationary bikes come social media platform. So Joe Biden is actually riding on a Peloton, and his information was out there for people to actually read and look at. Post-election, cybersecurity watchers raised a red flag, as if the bikers have built-in cameras, microphones, and let the riders see each other if they like. Do we really want spies for our adversary nation to be able to peer into the White House workout room, to listen to the president on his workout, or even to know when exactly he is working out? In particular, popular mechanics were in a story questioning the safety of use of the setup with the headline, "Why Joe Biden Can't Bring his Peloton to the White House." As of March, it wasn't clear whether the CIA wound up allowing President Biden to move his workout bike into the White House, though security experts told the New York Times that he wanted it. He could certainly have it with enough preparation to avoid the risk. But what kind of preparation can you do to protect the president or anybody from a leaky API that nobody knows about? So people know when you're working out and when you're in the workout room or actually look at you on the camera, right? That makes your whereabouts very known. Jackie Kent hacker in residence told Threadpoint in an email Wednesday that the feds may have locked down the president's bike, if and in fact he now has one in the White House. But that wouldn't address the security holes of the leaky API. The profile was built prior to the presidency, he said. To participate in a ride on Peloton, you have to be online. Otherwise, you're merely riding a stationary bike. Super boring. So what a leaky spring. In the past month alone, leaky APIs has also cropped up in invitation-only app Clubhouse, John Deere, and Experian. If those plus the Peloton leak has any indication, we're in a wild ride for API-driven breaches. But while the leak grabbed headlines, the cause of a leak, a misconfigured API, is typically glossed over, he said, because it's plumbing that enabled the leak. and result the leaks is the news. As we see more and more leaks, however, Ken think we'll see more attention paid to these vulnerabilities, as it is that they are covered by the spots of OWASP API Security Top 10 list of vulnerabilities. Weak authentication is number 1 and number 5 on the list, ranked in the terms of priority and severity. The crazy thing is the OWASP Top 10 has pretty much been the same thing for the last 20 years. As far as damage the threat actors can do with the data, it varies on what nefarious things you have in mind. It's the location data for specific individuals, so an angry abuser or anyone that looking to harm someone could get that data and find another person on the system physically. How can we stop the API flood? The only way to stop the dam is stop putting everything on the internet, Ken says. Do we really need connected exercise equipments, toasters? We could probably live with the dumb appliances just fine. So Masters didn't anticipate any problem with getting the issue resolved after the Peloton has a vulnerability disclosure program. He privately disclosed the flaw to Peloton on January 20th per his program rules. The receipt was acknowledged on the same day. Unfortunately, the last that the pen tester heard from the company. 2 days later, the penetration testing company asked for an update, offering help in replicating the problem. Again, it did not hear back, but by January the 2nd, the researcher found that the issue was unauthenticated endpoint has been silently and partly resolved. The user data now is only available to all authenticated Peloton users. Master recounted his post, but it was only a partial fix in that it did not solve the problem with the data being exposed to any other Peloton user, he noted. After 90 days, the pen test partners reached out to Whittaker to speak to Peloton on his behalf. It's all now, according to Masters on Wednesday, he updated initial blog post about the situation, saying that he finally been able to contact Peloton's CISO directly. Shortly after contact was made with the press office at Peloton, we had a direct contact with Peloton's CISO, who was in a new post. Master wrote the vulnerability was largely fixed within 7 days. It's a shame that the disclosure wasn't responded to in a timely manner. Peloton provided this statement. It's a priority of Peloton to keep our information secure. We're always looking to improve our approach and process for working with the external security community. Through our coordinated vulnerability disclosure program, a security researcher informed us that he was able to access our API and see information that wasn't available on the Peloton profile. We took action and addressed the issue based on the initial submission, but we were slow to update the researcher with our remediation efforts. Going forward, we would do a better job to work collectively with the security research community and respond more promptly than when vulnerabilities are reported. We want to thank Ken for submitting his report through our CVD program and for being open to working with us to resolve the problem. So most large companies and any companies have common vulnerability programs. So if you actually find a bug, you can actually submit it to the company and they will fix it. A lot of times there are bug bounties where the company will actually pay you if you find, especially a large bugs. Thread posts reached out to Peloton to ask whether they plan to inform writers of their privacy data was leaked, to ask how exactly they plan to improve its working relation with researcher. A representative said the company has nothing else to say beyond what is already shared with pen testing. So basically, they're not going to let the users know that their data was on the internet. It'd probably be explicit bad publicity for the company. The other weird thing, since they had those people getting hurt or injuries, I think that actually overshadowed the cybersecurity because they both happened kind of within the same month. Once again, cybersecurity for the people, Professor Black Ops. Anything you put on your network, be it a bike, toaster, salt water tank, make sure you review that software for vulnerabilities. Let's lock down the internet.